Okay, some of you have asked me about this problem right here, so let me go ahead and do it. It is a little complicated. It's not so hard as it is just a lot of steps. Okay. The first thing I want to do on this is factor the bottom, the denominator on all of these problems. Okay, so I'm just going to factor it down here at the bottom. Pull out the GCF out of all of them. And what's that going to do? It's going to allow me to see the lowest common denominator, which is what I'm going to multiply everything by to clear the fractions. Okay, so when I look here, I see, okay, I got a 3, a 4, and a 2. So the lowest common denominator between them is 12. And I got an n plus 1, an n minus 1, and an n plus 1. So that means my common denominator is going to have to be my lowest common denominator, is that right there. Okay, now I'm going to multiply every fraction in my rational expression equation here by that lowest common denominator. And that will clear everything, and then we'll just have a nice linear equation, maybe quadratic, that we'll have to solve at the end. Okay? All right, so I'm going to clear all this. And here's how I do it. I go 3 goes into 12 4 times, and 4 times 7n is 28n. I have an n plus 1, but I don't have an n minus 1, so I need to multiply this whole thing by n minus 1. Okay, so that's the first fraction taken care of. Now I'm going to do the second one. Okay, and I go ahead and pull all this together. Okay, so here I go. 4 goes into 12 3 times, and 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. I have an n minus 1, but I don't have an n plus 1, so I need to multiply it by an n plus 1. All of that is going to equal the other side of my fraction here. Okay? And I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. 2 goes into 12 6 times, and 6 times 3 is 18, and I got an n on this one. I got an n plus 1, but I don't have an n minus 1, so I have to multiply this by n minus 1. Okay, there's my equation. That's what's left. By multiplying by the lowest common denominator, I cleared completely that whole fraction. So now I just got to solve this with my algebra skills. Okay, so let me move this up, and let's go ahead and do this. 28n times n would be 28n squared minus 28n. I'm just going to keep doing this. Minus 15n. I'm just distributing everything in. Minus 15 equals 18n squared minus 18n. Okay, now I'm going to get everything on the same side. So I've got an equation, or I can solve, looking like it's probably going to be a quadratic. Okay, so 18n squared, take it over here and subtract it. On this side I'll have 10n squared. So that took care of those. Now I got negative 28 here and another negative 15 here. But I got negative 18 over here, so when I bring it across to here and add it, I'm going to have negative 43 and 18. That's going to give me negative 25n. And then my 15 will just come down. Okay, no doubt about it, I got a quadratic. Now you decide how you want to solve your quadratics. I'm going to go ahead and factor it. Okay, I see it quickly. Okay, let me change colors here too. I got a lowest common denominator I can factor back out, not denominator, multiple that I can factor back out, which is 5. That'll leave me with 2n squared minus 5n minus 3 equals 0. Okay, there's my answers right there, right inside that quadratic. Now you could put it through the quadratic formula, or you could factor it. In this particular application, the 5 can be brought down, but it means nothing because it has no variable attached. Okay, remember how we do this. 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So I need factors of negative 6 that give me a negative 5 in the middle. Well, that's only one choice, really. 6 negative and 1 positive. But remember, when you do that, because we multiplied to start, we got to unmultiply by dividing, by the leading coefficient. Okay, there's my two solutions to this problem. Right there, I take this n plus 1 half, set it equal to 0, take it to the other side when I solve for n, and one of my solutions is right there, negative 1 half. Here, 6 divided by 2 is 3. And I do the same thing, set it equal to 0 and take it across. There's my other solution. So this particular problem had two solutions. Negative, make sure I get that negative in there, negative 1 half and positive 3. I hope that helped.